So the topic of my presentation today is the outbreaks due to mycotoxin poisoning in India, risks and the challenges of food safety management. So without going into the details of this program, again you all know the food we eat or the feed that we provide to our cattle. Don't think that it is always healthy and safe. So coming to our own food, many times our food contains poisonous compounds or chemicals. These poisonous compounds will affect the health of our people and including the animals. So just I will focus what are these poisonous compounds. Technically, we will call them as toxins. More so today, I will focus on the poisonous compounds that are toxins produced by certain fungi and how they will affect our health and how to manage them. So before going into the details of mycotoxins, just I will share what are the different types of poisonous compounds that are present in our food. In few cases, to increase the storage life, to improve the that is process, and we will intentionally add certain chemicals to increase the storage life. For that sake, we will add certain chemicals so that it will kill the microorganisms associated with the food grains. In the process, some of the residues of these chemicals will remain in our food. Due to consumption of those residual chemicals that we added intentionally to minimize the microbial contamination and increase the storage life, it will cause lot of problems, discomfort, indigestion, and many other things. That type is very common. And second category of poisonous compounds that are present in our food are they are naturally produced by the plant. No one is adding to the food. For example, you take potato as an example. If you eat potato in large quantities for continuously, so naturally consumption of more potatoes, it will cause abdominal pain, diarrhea, even sometimes hemorrhage. Due to chemicals that are naturally produced by the potato, due to consumption of this potato in large quantities, these chemicals will cause harmful effects in our body. Like that, again, you all know the gossypol, a polyphenol pigment that is present in cotton, gossypium, that is cotton. So due to consumption of gossypial contaminated oil or the feed that contains that is cotton grains, so naturally due to consumption of this is gossypol containing oil or the seeds, naturally it will trouble the human beings as well as the animals respectively. Again, you all know, you might have heard about the lathrism. केसरी दाल बोलते हैं इसको. So this it is a protein rich pulse crop kesari. Then if you consume kesari continuously for a longer period, it will cause paralysis of the lower limbs. The name of the disease, we will call it as lathrism. Lathrism is a disease caused by the consumption of kesari continuously, not by eating once or twice, nothing will happen. If you consume for continuously, then if you consume large quantities of the kesari dal, it will show its symptoms. The major problem with the kesari dal consumption is paralysis of lower limbs. It is very common about 30 years back in Maharashtra and parts of the Madhya Pradesh. Because of this problem, Government of India bans the cultivation of the kesari dal. But despite that, people used to cultivate kesari. And finally, I think now, almost in the country, nowhere we can see the cultivation of the kesari. So here, the plant itself produces a polyphenolic pigment that is, it will cause the paralysis of the lower limbs. You take the SCN. Cyanide poisoning is again very common one. Particularly, you take most of the beans, more so the lima beans, which contain hydrogen cyanide in large quantities due to consumption of the lima beans, either by the human beings or by the animals. It will cause hydrogen cyanide poisoning. Like that, you can give many examples of natural chemicals. These are the poisonous in nature or toxic in nature produced by the plant itself due to consumption of that particular food grain. Even before processing, after processing, it will show its ill effects in human beings as well as in animals. Coming to the third category of the poisonous compounds that are toxins that are present in our food is the toxins produced by the microorganisms like fungi and bacteria. So, without going to the details of the toxins produced by the bacteria, again you all know, Pseudomonas is the botulinism you all know, Clostridium botulinum is the bacterium which will produce the toxic compound. On consumption of that contaminated one, it will cause the botulinum. Like that, we can give many examples of bacterial toxins. Now, just I will come to the point, the toxins produced by the fungi. We will call it as mycotoxin. Myco stands for fungus, toxins stands for the poisonous compounds. So there are hundreds of toxins produced by the fungi. Just I will focus only on a few. The one of the earliest known fungal toxins, again you all know, ergotism. Ergot toxins or ergot alkaloids are produced by the claviceps, members of the claviceps. Claviceps purpurea, claviceps microcephala. These are the two fungal species which will produce large quantities of ergot alkaloids. Due to consumption of these ergot alkaloid compounds containing food grains, it will cause ergotism, the disease caused by consumption of ergot alkaloid containing food grains. Like that, even again, the biggest threat from fungal toxins, and a lot of literature is available, is on mushroom poisoning. Toxins produced by the mushrooms. So most of the mushrooms that will grow in wild, that is in nature, are poisonous. Most of the bright colored mushrooms that will grow in nature, nobody will cultivate in natural habitat, they are poisonous. So that is the reason we select only those mushrooms which are edible in nature. Only we are 3 or 4. These are popularly cultivated mushrooms. So those are perfectly all right. Only problem with the poisonous mushrooms. So it is a well-known this thing, that is toxins produced by the alkaloids and the toxins produced by the mushrooms. These are the two major fungal toxins. Lot of literature is available. Coming to the toxins produced by other fungi. So, as I said, almost all plant products can serve as a substrate for fungal growth and subsequent mycotoxin formation, thus providing the potential for direct contamination of human food. As I said, mycotoxins, particularly aflatoxins. So, you all know, because you all from biology background, aflatoxins is a very specific term. Aflatoxins, toxins produced by Aspergillus flavus. A stands for genera Aspergillus, FLA stands for, that is species name, flavus. The toxin is a poisonous compound. Poisonous compound produced by the fungus Aspergillus flavus are known as aflatoxins. Mycotoxin is a general type. Aflatoxin is a one type of mycotoxin. Any toxin produced by the fungi is a mycotoxin or fungal toxin. So among all the mycotoxins, aflatoxins are studied in detail. There is a reason for it, because aflatoxins first time came into record in the year 1960, when this aflatoxicosis was first time reported in UK, in England, where most of the turkey's birds, on consumption of the contaminated feed, these turkeys died in millions of turkeys died due to consumption of contaminated feed. When they analyzed what are the contaminants in the feed, they came to know that after a year or two, actually this feed is not a healthy feed, it is a contaminated feed. This feed contains many ingredients, but peanut, groundnut is the major component of this poultry feed. So main culprit is the fungus which contaminated the groundnut. So it produced a toxin. The name of the toxin is aflatoxin in the groundnut. That is the major ingredient of these poultry. So due to consumption of this aflatoxin contaminated fungus, and subsequently aflatoxin produced by the same Aspergillus flavus, due to consumption of this contaminated feed, most of the, I think more than 20 million turkeys died within a day or two. So then several times scientists worked on it. Finally, they identified who is the culprit. Aspergillus flavus is the fungus, is mainly responsible for the contamination, and that is the main reason for the death of several lakhs of turkeys. So that is the reason. Then worldwide attention. In the beginning, the name of the disease we don't know, because before discovery of the Aspergillus flavus as the casual agent for the production of aflatoxin, without knowing any details, they named it as turkey X disease, X-rays, like that. We don't know how these turkeys are died. That is the reason they named in the beginning, in the year 1960 and 61, as turkey X disease. So we know what is X. So that is Aspergillus flavus is the fungus. The toxin produced by this fungus is aflatoxin, is the responsible for the death of these turkeys. So after the discovery of aflatoxins, many other toxins produced by other fungi also reported. So the problem with this mycotoxin contamination is, so the term you should be familiar, mycotoxicosis, diseases caused by the mycotoxins. Any disease caused by the consumption of the contaminated mycotoxin, the disease is known as mycotoxicosis. SES is the plural, SIS is the singular. Anyway, all the diseases caused by the mycotoxins, we will call it as the mycotoxicosis. The diagnosis of the mycotoxicosis is very, very difficult, because as they are similar to diseases with other casuations. So that is the reason there is a difficulty. We can authentically say this is because of the mycotoxin, because the symptoms are similar with other diseases. That is the problem with this one. The possibility of mycotoxin intoxication should be considered when an acute disease occurs in large population, when there is no evidence of infection with a known etiological agent, no improvement in the clinical picture following treatment. If you treat it, there is no improvement. Then because it is being a new disease in the beginning, as I said, no, the symptoms are similar with other diseases. That is so it is in the initial stage, it is a very difficult task. So it is very, very difficult in cases where more than one toxin is involved, because sometimes don't think that aflatoxin is there. It doesn't mean that no other toxin is present in the food. So it is a combination of several toxins. In such a situation, it is very, very difficult to diagnose because of which one. Coming to, just I will give some of the commodities which are highly prone to mycotoxigenic fungi, as well as for the formation of the mycotoxins. You can see from this photograph, you can see that is groundnut, one of the best, highly favorable food for the fungus. At the same time, corn. Maize is the second best suitable food commodity for the toxigenic fungus. Cottonseed, again, is a good one. Most of the nuts, spices, including the milk. So it is not an exaggeration to say that, as I said, these are the highly prone mycotoxin contamination commodities. That doesn't mean that These are the only food commodities which are contaminated by the mycotoxigenic fungi and produce the mycotoxin. Again, I can say without any exaggeration, no commodity is free from mycotoxigenic fungal association. If it is associated with mycotoxin fungi, again there is a chance of production of the mycotoxin in this particular commodity. If the conditions are favorable for growth and development of the toxigenic fungi, every commodity is infested by these fungi. If it is infested by the fungi, there is a chance of production of the mycotoxins. Any whether it is aflatoxin or fusarial toxin, rhizopus toxin, penicillium toxin, any toxin by any fungus. So, just in a glance, you can see some of the mycotoxins and what are their biological effects. So, because as I said, among all the mycotoxins, aflatoxins gained a lot of importance because of certain characters like aflatoxins are highly carcinogenic. Liver, that is particularly cancer causing ability, is very much associated with the aflatoxins. So that is the reason lot of literature is produced on aflatoxins because of this carcinogenic nature. So, not only aflatoxins are carcinogenic, ochratoxins produced by the members of the penicillium, fumonisins, the toxins produced by the members of the fusarium, these all are cancer causing. And aflatoxin and sterigmatosicin, these are the two toxins which will cause mutations. Like that ochratoxins, it is a teratogenic, the embryo damaging character. Zearalenone are the toxins produced by the members of the fusarium. They are estrogenic in nature. Trichothecins are the toxins produced by the fusarium members. They are hemorrhagic. Like that, some of the aflatoxins, even the including aflatoxins, they will suppress the immunity of an individual. It may be in human being or in animals. Ochratoxins, nephrotoxic. Aflatoxins, particularly, they are liver cancer, toxic to liver and the cirrhosis, and these are very common symptoms. Trichothecins, once again, are the toxins produced by the fusarium members, toxic to skin, and ergotoxins, again, I said at the beginning, these are also neurotoxic. So these are some of the major toxins produced by the fungi, and these are some of the major effects caused by these fungal toxins. So as I said, just I will focus in the beginning on aflatoxins. So as I said, aflatoxins are the diseases caused by the aflatoxins in livestock, that is the animals, domestic animals, including the human beings. Everywhere, no country is free from the aflatoxin contamination. Exposure to aflatoxin is mostly by ingestion, by taking the food. How these toxin producing fungi are the toxins when they enter into our body due to ingestion, that the food that we take, that is the major route. The second route is through the skin, that is dermal entry. The second is inhalation of the fungal spores through the nose. These are the three major routes, but the major one is through the ingestion of the contaminated food. But rarely through skin and very rarely through inhalation of fungal spores. Because inhalation of fungal spores, this will cause the aspergillosis, that is a breathing difficulty. As such, it is a different from toxin contamination aspect. When farm animals are fed with aflatoxin contaminated feed, there will not be only a direct toxic effect. So try to just to focus here. If a animal is fed with a contaminated feed, first thing, it will affect the animal that fed with the contaminated feed. The second thing, if it is a cow or a buffalo, the contaminated buffalo or the cow, it will not stop with that. The milk that we get from the buffalo or from the cow, so naturally we will feed our infants. So the cycle, contaminated feed in which the mycotoxigenic fungus as well as the mycotoxins, first it will enter into the animal due to consumption of the contaminated feed, and it will show its effects in the animal body. Then once we feed the milk that we get from these animals, maybe a cow or buffalo, naturally the kid, one who consume, or even the adults, one who drink the milk, naturally it is indirectly, it will enter into the human being through the animal. So that is the reason. Don't think that we are not taken any contaminated food grains, but it is coming from the milk. So that is the reason the milk aflatoxin, we will call it as M1 toxin, milk M1, M2. There are half a dozen milk toxins. They are also equally problematic. If you are eating the contaminated food directly, that is also a problem. Even if you consume contaminated milk with the mycotoxin, that is M1 toxin, is equally a very problematic one. So this is susceptibility of individuals, that may be a man or the animal, depends. It will vary from species to species. Naturally aged, as the age increases, so kids are the younger ones are little bit more resistant, and the kids and the older people are highly risky, and nutrition deficiency, naturally it will aggravate the problem. If you have taken a nutritious food, you can tolerate it to a certain extent. But if you are taking not the balanced food or a nutritious food, again you are in trouble. As I said in the beginning, aflatoxins are hepatotoxic, liver toxic, cancer causing, immunosuppression, it will suppress the immunity, anti-nutritional contaminants, it will minimize the nutritional values in our food. So many times aflatoxins they could not be recognized by the medical fraternity, except a large number of people, because as I said, unless many people are infected with the aflatoxins, then they realize no, otherwise they thought it is some other disease, some other known disease. But when people are affected with this toxin in large numbers, they realize no, this is not the previous disease, it's something different. Later they identified it as a aflatoxicosis. So don't think that aflatoxicosis can cause a serious and sometimes fatal diseases also. Again, in the subsequent, I will show some of the slides. Even in our country, first report of aflatoxicosis from our country in the world, India has reported first time about this is the fungus, how nicely it looks. This is the Aspergillus flavus, one of the potent aflatoxin producing fungus. The second one is the Aspergillus parasiticus. These are the two Aspergillus species which will contaminate a large number of food commodities with their toxins. This is the chemical structure of the aflatoxin B1. There are 4 major aflatoxins. There are many other, but among the aflatoxins, aflatoxin B1, aflatoxin B2, aflatoxin G1, and G2. B stands for under the UV light, aflatoxins will emit the blue color light. So depend upon the RF value, B1 and B2 will differ. When it comes to aflatoxin G1 and G2, it will give the greenish fluorescence under UV light. Once again, the difference between aflatoxin and G1 and G2, that rate of flow, it will vary from between G1 and G2. So as I said, I need not to go into the symptoms of again and main, that is bile duct proliferation, that is enlargement of bile duct is the major problem. That is the liver necrosis is the main symptom. That edema and lethargy, these are the 3 major symptoms caused due to aflatoxin. Other symptoms that includes, as I said, cancer, immunosuppression, nutritional interference. In the extreme cases, people will die if they consume large quantities of the toxins. So just because of shortage of time, I will go to the, so here, if you take the global population about 800 crores or 8.5 crores, nearly 50% of the global population at the risk of consuming the contaminated food. If they are a risk of consuming the contaminated food, again there is a risk of aflatoxin contamination. So what I mean to say that nearly 50% of the global population, there is a risk, unless you are very careful in controlling this one at the different levels, in the field level, in the storage level, and the consumption level, Otherwise, there is a risk of 50% of the global population for aflatoxin contaminated, for that matter, any other toxin contaminated food consumption, subsequently mycotoxicosis. So, this result indicate that nutrition and immunity, these are the two things, are negatively affect the health factors, including the HIV. So, 40% burden of the disease in developing countries because of this nutrition deficiency and HIV infection. These are the, it will act as a synergistic. If a patient is HIV positive, and if he is taking the food of the contaminated one, the synergistic effect of the aflatoxins or any other mycotoxin much more problematic than individually taking the aflatoxin contaminated food. So, just I will show this, the black colored bar, it is in Asia, nearly 1350 million people at the risk. So, because of the contaminated food. The next one comes to the India. So, this is as per the estimate of National Institute of Nutrition. There is a risk. That doesn't mean that all the 100 crore people are in danger. So, there is a risk if proper precautions are not taken. There is a risk. Nearly 100 million people in India, like that about 800 million people in Africa, like that in China about again 800. This is the global picture. That is, people are at risk about the aflatoxin or any other mycotoxin contamination. As I said in the beginning, first report of aflatoxicosis, that is the disease caused by the consumption of aflatoxin contaminated food, reported in India in the year 1974. So, it is due to hepatitis, the liver problem, aflatoxicosis in 200 villages in Western India. The two districts, that is Banswara in Rajasthan, and the second one is Panchamahal in Gujarat. These are the two districts in the Western India, one in Rajasthan, other one is Gujarat, where 200 villages are, the people in these 200 villages, they contaminated, they consumed the aflatoxin contaminated food. And finally, 397 patients, they are suffered with the contamination of this intake of this one. Finally, from these two districts alone, 106 people died due to consumption of, out of nearly 300, I can say roughly out of 400, 106 people died due to aflatoxin contamination. That is aflatoxin. This is the first report of aflatoxin. This is a global report. No other country reported prior to 1974. That is prior to India. So that is the reason when particularly the people from All India Institute of Medical Sciences and also scientists from National Institute of Nutrition, it is the ICMR laboratory located in Hyderabad. These are the two major research institutions in the beginning. Later, many centers are working on this fungal toxins. In the beginning, this is animal and human studies by the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. In general, all studies, including the animal and human studies from the National Institute of Nutrition. There is a lot of hue and cry when these two institutions reported about the aflatoxicosis in Western India. Then people are paying much attention to study other areas. So these are the two places, as I said, that is Gujarat is one and Rajasthan is one, the two districts in Western India. So just without going to the details of this, so it lasted for 2 months and was confined to only tribal population. Among these two districts also, only tribal people are infected with the contaminated food, and those people are show the symptoms, and finally more than 100 people of the tribals only died. The above affected areas were chronically drought. These are the two districts where the disease was reported. They are drought prone, and general level of nutrition among the tribals is very, very poor. Because of lack of purchasing power, people will go for that is contaminated food or very poor quality food. That is the reason most of the people infected by the first aflatoxicosis in our country, they are tribals from these two districts. In addition to this factor, there is another factor which influences unseasonal rains So at the time of harvesting the crop, if unseasonal rain comes, it will drench the maize crop. The main culprit of the crop is the maize. And due to at the time of harvest, unseasonal rains that will drench the maize crop, and started after a few weeks after the families had consumed moldy maize stored under abdul. So that is highly water drenched maize crop. If the tribals are consumed for a prolonged period, don't think that just by eating once nothing will happen. These tribals consumed the contaminated maize for several weeks continuously. Then they have shown the symptoms. So they have calculated among the tribal population from the first aflatoxicose reported from these two districts, 6.25 to 15.6 parts per million of the aflatoxins in these maize samples that is affected the people. The symptoms of the disease among these tribals: rapidly developing ascites, edema of the lower limbs, portal hypertension, bile duct proliferation, and finally mortality. These are the major symptoms observed by the All India Institute of Medical Sciences among the tribals from these two districts from Gujarat and Rajasthan. The again independent study on the same outbreak was also confirmed that aflatoxins were the major cause of the disease. This Professor Bhatt and Krishnamachari are from the senior scientists. They worked in the beginning from the National Institute of Nutrition. So, like that, there is a direct correlation between the aflatoxin contamination and the hepatomegaly in children were reported in South Kannada district. These are some of the reports in the Karnataka. There is a direct link, hepatomegaly with that of the aflatoxin, more so in the children. So they reported in the Kannada district. Srinivasa Murthy is the team from CFTRI from Mysore. They have conducted surveys in South Kannada and reported that there is a direct link between these two, hepatomegaly and aflatoxin contamination in children. Like that, Tandem from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, again they investigated about the Western India, the first report of the aflatoxicosis, same outbreak of hepatitis by detailed clinical features, appropriate laboratory tests, and liver biopsies of the affected human beings. And again they reported in dogs. Reconfirmed, that is Western India report, that the first aflatoxicosis report again and again studied by the All India Institute authentically proved this aflatoxicosis is due to consumption of the maize crop and eating this contaminated food by the tribals of these two districts, and finally 106 people died. High fever at the onset was marked. It will start with high fever and followed by rapidly progress jaundice, ascites, and simultaneously soon became quite massive. Mortality rate in the hospital was 10%. Clinical features in dogs were similar. Even in dogs, the symptoms are more or less similar. And mortality in the dogs is 100%, when in the human beings, 10%. Even after 10 years, in the same area, All India Institute of Medical Sciences team once again studied the Indian outbreak, found the survivors fully, those who have died, they have died, but other people, they survived fully. They recovered with no ill effects from the experience. That is, after 10 years of study, the survivors are perfectly, they recovered fully from the aflatoxicose. Only those people, 106 people died. This is Amla. He is the scientist from CFTRI, one who headed the CFTRI also. Childhood cirrhosis, a clinical condition mainly confined to the Indian subcontinent, has been attributed. Childhood cirrhosis, in the beginning, they thought with some other reason. So, aflatoxin contamination will increase the childhood cirrhosis in particularly in kids. So, there are other studies. ICRISAT from Hyderabad, they have studied in the broiler chicken. Nearly 2 lakhs broiler chicken died in the 1994 in Rangareddy district of the Telangana. Earlier it was in Andhra Pradesh state. Due to eating of the aflatoxin contaminated groundnut cake. This is the report. The ICRISAT is one of the pioneer center, done a lot of research work in the initial stages in the early 60s and 70s on mycotoxins. Like that, high mortality in chicks in Chittoor district. This is another report in Andhra Pradesh due to aflatoxicosis in chickens. This is reported by Char et al. Like that, groundnut cake was implicated in the aflatoxin. Groundnut cake is the main culprit for the contamination. It is contaminated with a heavy dose of 3,590 ppb, micrograms per kg is the parts per billion. So, how to overcome this problem? Mycotoxin contaminant productivity, reducing the risk of mycotoxin. In-house testing to control the particular this one. Well-trained personnel are required to safeguard the chicks by providing safe food, contamination-free feed we should provide to the chicks. That is the best way to avoid the problem. So there are many such examples. I don't go into the details because of next lecture immediately follows. Just I will go to the, as I said in the beginning, aflatoxin M1. It is a metabolite of the aflatoxin B1 and B2. Once it enters into the milk, we will call it as aflatoxin M1 and M2. So there are studies on aflatoxin, that is milk toxins, in India. This is in Andhra Pradesh by Yadagiri and Tulpule, aflatoxin in buffalo milk. Out of 50 milk samples they analyzed, nearly more than 50%, that is 27 out of 50 samples showed aflatoxin M1. That means 50% of the milk samples they have collected, they contaminated with the aflatoxin M1. The amount of the aflatoxin, it will ranges from traces to 4.8 micrograms per liter. So finally, they found that groundnut cake, that is it is forms 30% of the cattle ration, that is the main culprit because of the contamination of the groundnut cake with the Aspergillus flavus, and the toxin levels, it will vary from 1 to 30 micrograms per kg in the previous. The risk of infants, as I said, no, kids and the children exposed to aflatoxin injection through milk cannot be ruled out because kids will depend mainly on the milk. If the milk is contaminated with aflatoxin M1, the problem is very, very severe. More so, the immunity is very, very poor among the kids. That is the reason we should be extra careful while feeding the kids, whether the milk is contaminated with aflatoxin M1 or M2, you have to check again and again. Children from the most vulnerable and susceptible groups of the population depending on milk, its products are improving the nutritional status. So, like that, it is in dairy cattle also, they reported from Karnataka, it is there. So, without going to the details of these things, just I will tell few things. The toxins produced by the fungus Fusarium. So, we will, these trichothecins are a group of toxins, not one toxin. It includes tetrodotoxin, DON, we will call it as deoxynivalenol, and nivalenol. These are the three major toxins that is part of the trichothecins, in addition to zearalenone. Once again, it's the toxin produced by the Fusarium. Fumonisins, the name itself, it is a toxin produced by the Fusarium. These are the major toxins produced by the Fusarium. So, they are worldwide in distribution. They are very much common among the grains, animal feeds, and forages. So, because it is very, very difficult to diagnose the Fusarial toxins, because they are very similar to diseases with other cattle. The problem is the symptoms caused by the Fusarial toxins are similar to other diseases. That is the reason it is very difficult to say authentically it is because of the consumption of Fusarial toxins. So, like that, this is the structure of the fumonisin toxin produced by the Fusarium. That is, this is the photograph of the Fusarium slide. Like that, there are like that Fusarial toxicosis, spontaneous outbreaks have been reported in Europe, Asia, New Zealand, South Africa. Don't think that mycotoxin outbreaks are everywhere, worldwide. Don't think that India is the only country where disease outbreaks. No country, every country is suffering with one toxin or the other. The Asia, New Zealand, South America, these are the four major, including Europe, where these outbreaks were reported. Fusarium mycotoxins in additive effects to greater concern. Fusarium in with, along with the other mycotoxins, the problem will be much more severe. So these are some of the outbreaks of human toxin in our country. So here, fumonism B1 was found the causative agent equine leukoencephalopathy. This is the disease caused in the horses, a fatal disease of horses reported from Marassus. And these are some based on the available. The International Agency for Research on Cancer have described these toxins as class 2B carcinogens. Aflatoxin and the fusarial toxins, they categorized under 2B carcinogens as per the International Agency for Research on Cancer. So it is a carcinogenic in nature. A few more toxins, as I said, in Andhra Pradesh, there is an outbreak, poultry farm, fusarian toxicosis, where 6,700 hens aged 64 weeks, 3,000 hens aged were affected with 10% mortality and 20% reduction in the egg laying capacity. Like that, there are many. So, again, there is in Deccan Plateau, India, where outbreak of human toxins was also reported among the human beings. Nearly 1,424 people representing 27 villages belonging to 6 districts in Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka were also reported, that is fumonisin toxicosis. The outbreak was a sequel to the damage of the corn. Here the maize is the damaged one, and the sorghum. These are the two staple cereal crops contaminated with the fusarium and contaminated with the fusarial toxins due to cyclonic storms, due to unseasonal rains at the time of harvest. That is the main reason for the contamination of the food and the diseases. Like that, there are many. So, trichothiocin poisoning, as I said, T2 toxin, dione, nivalina, these are the three toxins produced by the mainly members of the fusarium, trichothecium, stachybotrys, myrothecium. These are the 3 or 4 major fungi which will produce the trichothiocin toxins. So there are many other, but these are the major ones. There are few reports of sporadic disease that outbreaks in animals due to. Don't think that it is confined to human beings, even in animals. Ramesh Bhatt and Tulpule from NIN also reported about the animal mycotoxicosis due to trichothiocins. Just very coming to the ergot alkalides, you all know this is one of the earliest known fungal toxins. I need not go into the details of it. Ergot poisoning cases in India, again reported by the NIN people. There are several reports. So, Rhizopus toxins also. Rhizopus nigricans is the major fungus which is responsible for the production of the rhizopus. And there are aflatoxin A, because coming to the how to control the problem. With these things, then I will finish. How to control the mycotoxin. In developing countries, particularly, regulations and capital intensive large scale food production system that make these regulations practical. In developing countries, they are perfectly regulate the food production systems and the capital intensive and the regulations. So, but this is not the case in the developing countries. That is the reason most of the mycotoxicosis poisoning cases are very much prevalent in the developing countries because of poor regulatory practices that are adopted in the developing countries when compared to developed. Food production systems are also very, very poor, and the economic conditions make management of aflatoxin contamination is very, very impractical. That is a major hindrance to check the menace. Coming to the aflatoxin minimizing technology, that includes use of varieties with less risk of aflatoxin contamination. So, the best way is to cultivate the aflatoxin contamination resistant varieties. That is the best way and the permanent way, but it is not always available. All the aflatoxin contamination resistant varieties, that is highly resistant to aflatoxin producing fungi, but that is the best solution. And the model based, we have to forecast well in advance. Once we notice the aflatoxin producing fungus in the standing crop, can we do something? That is the second best way after choosing the resistant varieties. Improved post-harvest. The third option is post-harvest crop processing and storage technology. This is the main focus we can apply. So the post-harvesting practices, post-harvesting and storage, these are the three things which will minimize most of the mycotoxin contamination problem. So that is the reason we have to focus harvesting practices, post-harvest, that including transport and storage in the storage structures. Whatever technique that you suggest, it should be very simple, it should be affordable, economically viable. If you suggest a very sophisticated one, nobody will follow, nobody will practice, that will not work. So that is the reason, affordable and very simple. Minimal biological exposure, that is another. Chemoprotection through use of certain drugs and dietary. So in certain advanced countries, they have tried with chemoprotection by using certain drugs and dietary supplements. It will detoxify the toxin that is already present in the food inside the body. So it is a little bit risk, but there are few reports which will detoxify the toxin that are present in our stomach or the gut by that way. And there are some absorption, enterosorptive food additives. They will give certain pills-like things. Once it enter into our body, these absorption pills-like things, it will bind to the toxin and prevents the absorption by the toxin by our human body. So indirectly, by introducing a enterosorptive like balls, once it will bind with the toxin that is present inside the body, so that our body will not absorb. It will prevent from the absorption by our body. So that is one strategy. We cannot say just by using this we can control. Like that, I can say aflatoxins act very slowly. It is a cumulative and prolonged consumption. If you eat continuously for a prolonged period, then lead to liver cancer. Just by eating once, nothing will happen. So if the aflatoxin level accumulates in your body to a certain level, then it will show the symptoms and then you are in trouble. Just by eating once or a small quantity, nothing to worry. Person's chances of developing cancer are compounded significantly if he or she also carry a hepatitis B. Hepatitis B virus and aflatoxin contamination, there is a chance for very big problem. So these two will work as a synergistically. That is the reason most of the hepatitis B positive people are highly risk with the aflatoxicosis. So that is the reason the hepatitis B virus that will cause the jaundice, you all know. So the people who are suffering from the jaundice due to the hepatitis B, they are highly risk to these toxins. And in India, about 20 million people are hepatitis B. So if 20 million people are hepatitis B, we can understand the risk of aflatoxin contamination. In a majority of the cases, such outbreaks may be missed or misdiagnosed due to paucity of information. Many times it is very, very difficult to say it is because of the aflatoxin, because unless you have a very good technology to identify the fungus and you isolate the toxin and quantify, then only you can authentically say it is because of the toxin contamination. At the end, I can say sufficient attention to such disease outbreaks has not been focused in view of remoteness, because most of the cases they reported in the interior area. That is the reason much attention has paid on these areas. One of the major drawbacks in fighting the mycotoxins, there are awareness is very, very zero. For the last few years, people are creating awareness, but in the beginning, there is no awareness about the aflatoxin contaminated food and the subsequent problems created by this one. In the Western countries, as I said in the beginning, on the other hand, have strict regulations governing the testing of the food products of aflatoxins as per the FAO. So that is the reason they will prevent the contaminated food in the initial stages. That is the reason they will avoid the mycotoxin problem. Although aflatoxicosis outbreaks occurred periodically in Africa, Asia, these outbreaks result in the largest number of fatalities ever documented. So, but there are many cases, but going to the lethal levels are very, very level. Most of the outbreaks discovered here are consequent, as I said, due to ingestion of the contaminated food. So, I think this is the last slide, I hope. challenges in mitigating the mycotoxin exposure to animal and human health in India include lack of capacity in areas such as development of infrastructure is the main, that is infrastructure that includes laboratories, equipment, training in mycotoxin testing, development of food legislation, inspection control systems, surveillance, monitoring, inadequate capacity in risk assessment, and limited laboratory accreditation programs. So these are some of the limitations where we have to focus to reduce the aflatoxin contamination problem. And in order to control the mycotoxin problem, precautionary measures during pre-harvest and post-harvest are very, very important. Effectively prevent future outbreaks of mycotoxins, establishment of long-term measures such as comprehensive food safety programs is a must. So, this is India with a population of more than 1 billion. I prepared this presentation a few years back. Now the population is 135 crores. So 40% people are below the poverty line. So naturally, the people, 40% of the total population below the poverty line, we can understand. It is very difficult to imagine their access to complete, safe and toxin-free food, since people are forced to consume less expensive, poor quality food grains because of poor purchasing power. This is the main problem. Nobody will intentionally eat because of poor purchasing power. Poor people forced to eat the less expensive contaminated food, and they are in trouble. Therefore, programs that focus on prevention of contamination will provide same relief. So mycotoxin contamination is therefore unpredictable, which makes it is a unique challenge. This is in brief about the fungal toxins and the diseases they cause and how to prevent the mycotoxin problem. So this is in brief. I don't know that is again is so because of time shortage, you can write to me because of next speaker is awaiting. You any doubts regarding my presentation? I will share my presentation. I will give it to Professor Nainesh Modi. He can share with you. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask me either by phone or through email if anything is there, if you have any doubts. Thank you.